Welcome to Brothers Barrel again. Harrison here.
And I'm Chris.
And we're going to be getting into the Found North Distillery. They are a craft whiskey brand that specializes in blending high quality Canadian sourced whiskeys. They focus on cask strength, high proof, wildly different combination and mixtures because rules are different over there in Canada with what you can do with whiskey. So these two brothers that own this place just kind of go all out. And what did you say that they do? They blend it
right.
Yeah, see, that's the whole, when you said that, I was like, that's it right there. These guys blend everything right, and they do everything right. Every bottle that comes out, I'm like, I really want to taste that.
I can't wait to talk about this more.
Let's get into it.
All right, so Found North. This is the Altitude series. It was just released that it's called Hoverhawk. So kind of cool. It's another bird in their series, their Altitude series. There's Peregrine and so on and so forth. Helldiver.
Helldiver, yep.
They were gracious enough to send us a sample of it.
Thank you, my friends.
Of course. So this is like their spin-off from the normal batches. And this is our first one. I have not had Helldiver. I have not had...
Oh, no, Hellcat. But yeah, our first Helldiver, yeah. And we're never able to secure a bottle.
Right.
I think most of the reason for that is because we have a very generous friend who has this many bottles. I'll put the picture up right here.
Yeah, so we do want to support these guys, but it just seems to we always miss that
I think
chance.
they have enough support as is too.
Oh my gosh.
Like as soon as they're available, they're gone.
That lottery is here and gone.
These guys are doing just fine. But we're happy to make a video about them anytime they send us anything. They deserve a video every time.
Oh yeah.
Every bottle they come out with deserves its own video. So that's what we're doing here.
Absolutely. More about this bottle. So the Hoverhawk, it's 90% 22 to 27 year corn whiskey.
Okay. Wow, okay.
So it's old, right?
There's always just such old juice in these bottles.
I don't know where they pull these barrels from, but they know some people. 9% is going to be a 15 to 18 year rise. So you get a little bit of that complexity in there. And then 1% is going to be an 18-year malted barley.
Nice.
So this is old juice right here. I think altogether, what is it, like 15 years?
Yeah, it's
average.
15-year-old at the average, the youngest. At 123.2 proof, you're getting every bit of that proof on the nose. I gotta say.
Oh, I haven't got in yet.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with some Bookers. They're always like 120, a little bit, a little lower, a little higher. It's always a lot more softer on the nose than most on the palate. That's just what I go to for comparison here, but this has every bit of the proof on the nose just to start off. I really like that.
Absolutely. And then before we get into the tasting, this is matured, like kind of finished almost in, I think it's like Moscato and New American Oak. So there's a little bit of that finish. Nice. It's interesting they do the New American Oak.
Moscato.
Kind of like a bourbon, right? So you're gonna get a little bit of that wood sugar, the tannins, and the barrel.
I like that.
New oak. So
these guys are always doing something fun.
That's what I love about it. Like what you were saying, Canadian whiskey, you can get away with so much because the rules aren't strict. But you can either do the bare minimum like a lot of brands, or you can do stuff like this.
All right.
Well, let's jump in.
Let's see if 90% 22 to 27 corn.
So it's got that sweet
old juice. Maybe that's also what kind of brings out the ethanol or alcohol influence to the proof, staying true to the proof point it says there is because it's been sitting in that barrel most of it. 90% of it is 22 years old or more. So you're getting a lot more of that influence just because it's just been sitting around.
How old are you?
27 this January.
Okay, so you're almost 27. 22 to 27 year
We have juice
corn.
older than
so
me in here.
In here, there's some juice. That's crazy,
to think about,
right?
Yeah. That's a nice nose, man. And what's interesting too is like when you smell it, it's like you can kind of get that subtle like Canadian whiskey influence in here too.
Right.
But it's good. It's
good.
Nice.
Right. It's not like
a put off.
Oh, it smells like
a
little bit of spice and rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, it's not a put off at all.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
happy with the nose on this.
It's creamy. I almost get like that, like a creme brulee-ish, toasted sugar.
I just had creme brulee recently too at a Costco sample booth. So yeah, you're on the mark with that one.
Nice. Yeah, it's like cooking spices, like heavy on the nose.
Yeah.
Almost brown forman-y to me. Like bakery kind of.
Oh, okay, I got you. And it's like I'm getting a little bit of sprinkles.
Oh, really?
On like a donut.
The sprinkle.
I don't know why that just came to mind. Because when you try sprinkle on its own, it's like kind of weird and like a little bit like that.
It's not really sugar, but it's not like nothing. Yeah.
It's just a very like weird, odd, different kind of taste. It kind of gives me a little bit of that on the nose. But the reason why it works is because you put sprinkles on a donut and it works in combination. It gives me that similar combinational bit here where it just works on the nose so well.
And kind of tying everything together on the nose for me, a little bit of citrus. Nice. There's like that little, like, maybe not the juice, but like you're spritzing the peel. You get the oils almost. I gotta jump in.
Let's go.
This nose is
Let's
fantastic.
Let's go.
Let's go. Wow. Oh man, that works its way slowly. After you.
You were talking, I just wanted to say, like, just let it happen for a second.
Just let it happen.
That is a mouthful of just pure excellence. It's everything I expect from Found North.
Plus some.
I mean, I already have, high expectations for them because of their bottles that I've just had.
Oh yeah, their reputation.
Because of Kenyon's, I've had every single one of his bottles.
Thank you, Kenyon, by the way, name drop.
And my gosh, they never miss.
They can't. They can't afford to miss, and somehow they do better.
I really like this whiskey. Like I know we're gonna be going to notes and what we're getting and this and that, but this is just a very good, very enjoyable whiskey. Like straight up for the friends out there that are just like, I either like it or I don't. I really like this.
Absolutely, yeah. I will back these guys if they keep doing stuff like this. I can't not like it.
And here's what it makes me think of. Joe was talking about Old Carter. I was at his house. He was sharing some stuff with me. And the newer Old Carter stuff just is not hitting it for him lately. It's the older, when they first started, the American whiskey products, that they had the first ones. And he was talking about how this was before they were just this big known popular brand where he was just buying these bottles and then buying them again. And he has like a whole bottle graveyard of all these old Carter bottles, and they don't do it anymore. But I mean, good for the guy. He bought the distillery back, but maybe he'll go back to his roots. But it's like now they've set that reputation for themselves in the beginning. They're always going to be held in that regard. They're always going to be that popular no matter what. These guys, they set themselves up for success so early on, and they still are on that road. They're never going to go down in anyone's minds.
They're doing it the right way. They're still being particular with what they blend, what they buy.
That's a great finish, man.
So it's definitely finished, right? Oh, we're talking about the finish. Let's just go with the tasting notes. I'm sorry.
I know.
I get that the spice that was on, not a little bit of like that vanillas, the cinnamons almost, but nutmeg for sure. Oh my gosh, it's almost like winter in a glass, almost like a midwinter's, but more. It's just there's like a lot
more in here. There's
just so much more, and it's not like this big finished product where it just smacks you in the face with the finish. It's all mixed in and blended, and it's subtle, and it just enhances the whiskey itself. Like that's the whole focal point, is the juice, not the finish.
Yeah. Right. And
I'm getting so much more jamminess and like fruits. Like, you know the raspberry jam where you get the seeds in it?
Oh yeah.
Boom, that's this.
Nice.
Like,
I
oh
was
my
gonna say
gosh.
jammy berry type. I'm getting a little bit of that, like a little bit of like lemon in the palate. Like when I keep it in my mouth and I smell it with it in my mouth, I'm getting like that. Because at the nose, it's like a citrusy note on the beginning, like how you were saying, and it's like more lemony in my mouth while I go into the nose with it.
Almost like it's thrown in like a lemon meringue kind of thing, where it's like that creamy, puffy top on the lemon meringue pies, but it's citrusy and has that lemon note.
Yeah, and then you combine the proof point in it and the how long it's just been sitting in those barrels with whatever concoction and whatever they threw in there with it. It's ever changing. If you want a whiskey that's going to be ever changing in your mouth, it's just so like you get one thing, but then the next second there's something you can't pinpoint anything. This is the one for you. One pinpoint I have though, on the finish right now, like the late finish, you know, it dries you out in all the right ways.
Yeah, it's
bubblegum note, a little bit of hubba bubba on the coating my mouth.
That's probably the remnants of the rye. That's the thing that's lasting the longest.
Isn't that crazy? When 90% of it is corn, and you only got 1% malted barley, which
that bumps up like the chocolatiness, which there's like a hint of it for me, very very subtle. So let's get real, Canadian whiskey distributors. Come here, come on. Why don't you do cool things? Look how successful Canadian whiskey could be if you tried a little bit. Now these guys try hard. You don't have to try this hard. You'll never try this hard. Try a little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely watching us too. Like,
oh my
gosh, they're watching. So you pay attention.
Yeah, to me. We say what we do.
Oh my gosh, bro.
It kind of opens up more and more.
I'm gonna get Kenny to give me a bottle of this and pay him.
Okay.
And a finder's fee. Like,
absolutely.
Was it like $150? I don't know how much the bottle is, but it's worth every penny.
Absolutely. I think they're $160, but
I'll pay that.
Yeah.
If this bottle is $160, I will pay that. Absolutely.
I am big on, if it's over $100, it better be worth it. I got no problem paying.
What the heck? And you know, the interesting thing with with our channel, we originate is like finding good cheap whiskey that's really good, that doesn't break the bank. So what this makes you think of is, I have like my monthly budgeting fee for whiskey that I have. You know, you got to be smart with your money with it. And I think, okay, do I want to buy a few good cheap bottles that are reliable or interesting, or do I want to splurge on like one or two really good bottles? This makes me want to be like, yeah, screw that idea. I'm just gonna save up or keep that money for this bottle, and then we'll talk about the rest later. Like, it's just, it's the forefront whiskey right now in my mind. It's like, with this whiskey in my mouth, I'm not thinking of anything else right now.
No.
What the heck?
No, I think this is like a night ender for sure. Like, not that I'm blown out, not that it's gonna be better than some other stuff that we have on the shelf, which it's definitely gonna be on my top shelf if we had a bottle.
I have one thing to say. I'm gonna cut you off. Remember your thought.
I'll try.
Okay. It's giving me the dentist is working on giving you a filling so they numb your mouth. My mouth is a little numb.
Yeah, it's that proof that kind of soaks, and the age, it's kind of soaking into the tongue.
Along with that drying influence, how it dries you out. But it soaks and leaves the remnants of everything that you need and want.
It's not like that full 1792 foolproof store pick that we had, where it was just like a wood chip. It dried you out. You were done. Yeah. Your tongue was a shriveled little raisin. No, this is soaking into you. You're soaking.
The episode of SpongeBob where he's eating Gary's food. I'm putting that in there. Yeah.
It just soaks in. You kind of get like the oak tannin, so it's kind of dry, but you're not destroyed.
You're not gone. You know what it leaves me doing? It leaves me like biting my, like when you bite your tongue and like saliva will come out?
Yeah.
It leaves me biting my tongue to force those flavors back
out into your spit.
Phenomenal. Every time. I don't know. Where's that other one that we had? The other, you have it locked away somewhere.
It's in our sample drawer.
Man,
I think this shows up that one.
I think this is better than the 19 year.
Yeah.
Because we have this 19 year that they sent us too. We did a little short on that.
Phenomenal. I think it was very finish forward though.
It was, yeah.
Which is good. It's one of the best finishes I've had. But this one, it does a finish right, where it's enhancing the whiskey, not the other way around, the whiskey enhancing the finish.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know.
I was wanting to talk about this one again because that ex-ruby port maturation in here is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Never had that influence in there, but this just takes the scene.
Absolutely.
Gosh. There's so much to say about it, so much to go on about it, and I had full thoughts that this was just going to be like a 2-3 minute video. We just kind of went all in here.
Yeah, I did not expect to go this long.
Any Found North, you find if they do raffles and
They just had their lottery that came and went. We missed it, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. So
but they float around. You'll see them.
You'll Chicago.
Chicago.
You Chicago folks, you'll see them.
Illinois. Check your local groups too.
After work, man, do some hunting. You will probably find one somewhere, and it's definitely an automatic pickup for me.
Absolutely. And the guys over there, the owners, send them an email. It says so on their website. If you have any questions or how to get their stuff or info about their whiskey or their process, they respond to you. The owners of the company, they're amazing. They're super cool guys, really cool company who actually is trying to make a difference in what Canadian whiskey is, and we really respect that.
They really stand out to me too. Like with everything else, how we sometimes compare, this tastes like this, right?
Right.
I don't, like I said before, this is all that's in my mind right now.
It's Canadian whiskey.
We have all this behind us, all this under there, all this over there, all this over there, but it's just like,
Stand
boom.
out.
I just want to keep talking and drinking and everything that the juice in here, that's all I care about right now. That's special. They got me on this one, man. This is probably one of the best whiskeys of the year for me.
Absolutely.
They call me crazy. What do you guys think? If there's anyone out there who's tried this as well, fellow creators, if you got sent the sample, let me know what you think about this, because are we just overhyping it, or are we kind of on the money with it? It's really good, and I gotta get my hands on this bottle.
Absolutely. I'm gonna make a few calls after this.
Business calls. Business.
Anyways, we're gonna enjoy the rest of our glass. Hope you got something out of this. I hope this answered any questions about Found North that you might have had. And let us know what you think of the company and the whiskey you've had from
them.
them.
Maple on the late finish. Oof,
it's just
ever changing, evolving. Thank you, Patreon members. You paid Patreon members are so dear to us. We appreciate your support so much. Join our Patreon, the free Patreon. We just trying to build a little community. We post stuff. We talk about stuff. If you have any controversy, we do that. Sometimes we do lives, so you'll know every time we get into the live from there, we post about it. So thank you so much for joining us here with Brothers Barrel, with Everything Whiskey. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for staying to the end. I'm Harrison.
And I'm Chris.
We're going to get the heck out of here.
And real quick, thank you, Chris, Nick, and Zach over at Found North. Thank you.